Eat Your Backyard, my YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed already, I hope you will. In this episode of Pick It, Plant It, Eat It, we're going to go visit a local farm. I love to support and showcase local farms because I grew up on one. And in this episode, we're going to take a look at Funky Chicken Farms. And this experience taught me that sometimes when you search for manure, you find the most adorable little bunnies and cool people to talk to and get to know. This is a good example of that. Life is a cool journey. Reach out for novelty. And as a result, I have incorporated many things that I learned about in this episode into the Eat Your Backyard experience. So it is like a new day for the channel and for the backyard as a result of interacting with people like Suzanne at Funky Chicken Farms, but also like Ben over at Banana River Yards. These are local folks that are full of information, and just one conversation ends up leading me to all kinds of possibilities. Here I am surfing at the end of my street. This moment is teaching you not all waves you paddle for do you catch. But in this episode, I caught a lot. First of all, I learned about composting, soil, manures, vertical gardening, chickens, rabbits. So we really covered a lot of ground, and if you stay to the end of the video, I'll show you some of the cool tie-dyes that Suzanne has at the farm. Please don't forget to click on the links and subscribe to Eat Your Backyard. Okay, let's get right into it. All right, Jack, you know where we are?
No.
We're at a farm, Funky Chickens. Stoked. This place looks incredible. Oh, look at that, there's horses over there.
Yeah.
You don't hear that chicken? Hello. Look at those roosters. There's a rooster. That's so cool. I am interested in adding the animal component to my backyard. Hey, I'm here with Suzanne at Funky Chickens Farm in Palm Bay, Florida, and we're going to talk about all kinds of cool things.
Yeah, I'm Suzanne. We're Funky Chicken Farm. We've been farming since 2007. Here at the farm, we raise chickens and chicks for people to raise in their own backyard for eggs. And then I also raise rabbits for meat and also manure. Manure is fed to the composting worms, and they consume it and make vermicompost or worm castings. And then we take that, we mix it with perlite, and we use it in our tower garden here to grow our food. Some of this food gets fed back to the rabbit, and some of the food feeds us. So we have a complete circle of life here, and I can show you how it's done.
Absolutely.
Come on, follow me.
So cool. Oh, you have pineapples over there.
Yeah, we got beautiful pineapples.
Look at that. Those are championship sized.
Yep. We got papayas hanging up there.
That's really cool. Yeah, I was going to bring you over sugarcane cutting, and I actually left it on the table. But you probably have sugarcane all over the place.
Yeah, I've got these girls covered up from the wind. It's cold and chilly today. Wow. These are my meat rabbits. These are the mothers. So we're in the breeding season now, and a lot of them are due on the 1st of February. So we're just waiting for the babies to be born. It takes approximately 1 month of gestation from the time the mother's bred to the time where she delivers babies. And ideally, most often she'll deliver about 8 babies. So anywhere between 8 and 10.
Is it a specific type? What's the specific type of rabbit that you use?
I can show you here. There's the 3 types right here. We have the New Zealand white. She's an all white rabbit.
Okay, that's beautiful.
Yep.
Blue, is that blue eyes?
She got pink eyes.
Pink eyes.
Behind her we have the mother with the dark ears and nose. She's Californian.
Okay.
And then here's the chinchilla mother. And she is the biggest of the three, and she's a wonderful, calm breed of rabbit, and she's gorgeous.
That is incredible.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
she's a lavender. She's got beautiful gray fur and the really pink ears. She's a beautiful rabbit.
That is
so she's one of my best mothers here. So from these three breeds, we breed to have a really nice, robust young baby rabbit, and I also sell a lot of rabbits for people to raise in their own backyard. I prefer that as opposed to harvesting them for food.
Right.
Because a live rabbit is far more valuable than a dead one.
What do you think is better, to use chickens or to use rabbits? If you're just trying to get the, use the manure to kind of recharge your
I would
yard.
prefer the rabbit manure over the chicken manure.
Okay.
Chicken manure is a little bit more difficult to collect. If you film down here, I have trays underneath the rabbit hutch that captures the manure that falls.
Right.
And it feeds the worm bins that are located behind you. So we take those rabbit bunny berries.
Bunny berries.
Yeah, and we feed it to the composting worms. This is a worm composter, and I've been harvesting worms.
Look at how many worms are. Holy moly.
And so we have quite the mix here. I have a lot more worms than that, though. I've been digging around in here, so I've harvested some out of here.
It's just like it's nothing but worms, almost.
Right, exactly. These are red wigglers, Icenia fetida, and they eat the rabbit manure, and they make beautiful, rich compost. In Florida, we live on a sandbar, and sand doesn't hold any water. It doesn't have enough organic matter in it.
Yeah.
So this is how we create the organic matter that acts like the sponge that holds the nutrients and the water close to the roots of the plant. And worms also exude an enzyme in their manure that makes it easier for the plant to uptake the nutrients at the root level.
Wow.
So yeah, awesome
I did not know
stuff.
that.
Yeah.
It's interesting. In my yard, it's mostly like sand.
Okay.
you know,
Yes,
but
definitely.
in certain areas, I'll find worms, and others, zero worms.
Exactly.
And
they're where they can find food and water. Okay. Whenever you supply food and water, just like a party, as long as you keep the food coming and the water coming, people are going to stay at the party and poop.
Yeah.
Okay? And that's what we're doing right here. We're collecting the poop and using it for the nutrients for the garden.
Wow.
Yeah. You can see I have a whole bunch of them, but then I have a worm business. I sell red wigglers, so if anybody wants any, they're a pre-order off. You can give me a call or a text.
A call or a text. All right, yeah, and I'll put that information down in the description of this video, so just, look down in the description.
Exactly. So then
you just place the droppings from the rabbits directly into this? You just mix it in?
I don't even mix it. I just put it like this.
Oh, no, come and get it.
They're going to come and get it. And I water it. Like anything, you have to water once to twice a week and feed at least once a week. If not, they will die. So they will. So the water will help this break down a bit, and they come to the surface to feed. Worms always feed at the surface, and they take. They create burrows, so they take the food down into their burrow deep, and they poop there.
Yeah.
And they lay eggs there as well, because it's warmer. The temperature is more controlled at a lower level.
Oh, they lay their eggs down deeper.
Yeah.
Wow.
So if they're up at the surface, they're eating.
I saw a termite mound that they had poured lead down in, lead or tin or something down into at the Smithsonian.
Really cool.
Yeah, and it was, in Africa, somewhere in Africa. But anyway, gigantic, the structure.
Gigantic.
I couldn't comprehend it. It was that big.
Yeah. Yes, and so each worm is a hermaphrodite, and each worm lays eggs, but they have to join together. Let's see if I can't find a connected worm. Well, they connect together, and they fertilize each other, and then each worm lays an egg, and each egg has between 8 and 18 baby worms in it. So that you can multiply. You can multiply 1 pound of worms, which is approximately 2,000 worms, to over 1 million worms easily in 1 year. Wow. By feeding and watering them. Now there'll be various sizes, of course, but they'll be there.
And if somebody wanted these worms, they could just contact you and have worms delivered to them.
No, they'll come pick them up. You pick up the worms at the farm Saturday
Oh,
or Sunday.
they would come get them here. Yeah,
Between
okay.
noon and 2, that's when the worm pickup is.
The worm pickup. That's cool.
Yeah. So we take the soil, we harvest some soil, let's just say.
So if you didn't have the rabbits, though, you'd have to feed the worms what?
I feed them kitchen garden scraps.
Garden scraps and stuff. But I mean, I guess
and
if
they feed on any manure. So I would use chicken manure very sparingly because it's a hot manure, literally hot in temperature.
Okay.
Very high in nitrogen. If you have horse manure, they love that too.
Okay, so you just feed them some kind of manure, like even if you got could you go to like the chain store and buy cow manure and feed that?
You could, but there's really not a lot of nutrients in that.
Oh.
A lot of people use it. I don't know why, but horse manure would be the best thing to do. You can find that locally on Craigslist.
Okay.
People put it up there, or if you know
Locate
anybody
horse
that has
manure.
a horse, right?
Or locate rabbit manure, I guess chicken manure as well.
Chicken manure is harder to get because chicken's running around underground.
Oh, to collect it?
You can't collect it if it's in the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there used to be big chicken farms here locally that you could get it, but we don't have them anymore. I live in the poultry colony. We had 3 chicken farms on this street alone.
Wow.
And they're not here any longer.
Poultry colony, that's cool.
Yeah.
I can remember as a kid, my grandfather had gigantic mountains of horse manure and cow manure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And put it all back into the fields.
Boy, he's a rich man.
Well, it was the best corn and tomatoes I've ever had in my life. It was so good. And it's the
That's why
smell.
your skin is so nice.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's well, the smell of the soil too, I remember. Like just being rich and smelling almost like
Have some. Smell that.
Yeah, it smells good. I mean, it smells almost like kale.
There's no stinkiness.
Not at all.
No, it smells like dirt, good dirt. Gosh. So then we harvest this. Let's say I harvest a bucket of this, and usually it doesn't have any poop in it. And then I take it and I mix this with perlite. Perlite is a volcanic material. It lightens up the soil because this is really heavy. Heavy in weight, and I'm doing a tower garden. Yeah. And
cool.
yeah, so we have it growing over here.
Can I take a look at it?
Yep. Right here we have beautiful curly Bates kale. We also have the red Russian kale. This is beautiful for salads or making wraps. We have arugula. I love arugula. That's my favorite
About
thing.
how long have these been growing?
I planted these mid-November.
Mid-November, so
Yeah.
a couple of months.
Yeah. Yeah, 2 months. This is dill, very aromatic. I like to put that in salad. This is purslane. They eat a lot of
Wow.
Yeah, they eat a lot of purslane in Mexico.
And native edible.
Very native.
I love the taste of purslane.
Yeah, kind of tangy.
Like tangy, yeah. But almost like iceberg lettuce, but better.
Good
So
stuff.
good.
Yes, so I'm always planting things. These are green onions that I've saved the bottom part of the onion that had the little root part on it. I just saved that and I just stick it into the ground and look, they grew.
Wow. Just from the grocery store?
Yes, and it's much easier than trying to start seeds from this because the seeds are really challenging to start.
Okay.
Yeah, we got.
Yeah, they're kind of already alive and thriving.
Yeah, this is the lettuce. It's coming out. We had some tomato volunteers that are doing quite beautifully. We got baby tomatoes down there. And we have some beautiful baby tomatoes over here. We're also going to try a new method of growing, hydroponics. So I'm starting some plants. I just planted these the other day. And we have a tower or a trellis system that we're going to put them on.
And those are completely not soil.
Right. No, this is correct. This is purely perlite.
Purely perlite.
And we're going to use a nutrient solution just to see what we get. Why not? Try
it. I was using tilapia for a while in my backyard as the way to. Well, I had this one of those little ponds you get at Lowe's or whatever, and I had about 20 or 30 tilapia in there, and they just turn it black with their waste, and then I'd pour that on all my fruit trees.
Awesome.
I did that for years, and it worked great, and I kind of have that gap now. I don't have it. But,
I know.
Yeah.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, it really is.
We try to grow our own seedlings here out of seeds. They're so easy to grow, really. Just use the same mix into a seed tray and seed up and water, and here they go. They sprout beautifully. This is an indigo rose cherry tomato, just gorgeous. We can grow cherry tomatoes very easily in Florida. The big ones grow best during the cooler months, so I've got some of those started as well.
And what was it? It was an indigo?
Indigo rose.
Okay.
It's a beautiful, it's got dark purple shoulders like a purple eggplant would have, and then it's rose colored below that.
And it can take the hotter temperatures?
Yeah, because it's a cherry tomato.
Okay.
They will pollinate.
Wow.
Easier than a beefsteak tomato will.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is so cool. I always say it's like a big part of gardening is just figuring out what plants are not going to die in your area.
Exactly.
You know what's going to thrive and kind of go with the flow.
Totally.
And
this time of the year, we can grow everything in Florida when the rest of the country's not growing anything because they're under snow or just too cold. But we have a beautiful, gorgeous day.
I'll say.
Full sun. I mean, hello.
I've learned to never complain on Eat Your Backyard because if I ever do about the weather or anything, I got somebody that's telling me, oh, listen, I'm under 2 feet of snow here.
Yeah, exactly. Now we don't grow during the summer months. Maybe we'll grow some collard greens and some okra and cherry tomatoes, like the Lloyd's cherry tomato. That's a real tiny tomato, probably one of the smallest tomatoes, but the Seminole Indians grew them, and it's an heirloom that's dedicated from the Seminole Indians, as well as Seminole pumpkin. Wow. That's a Seminole Indian heirloom vegetable.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
And, yeah, what variety of okra are you?
Okra, I have a friend that lives in Costa Rica, and he developed a variety from crossbreeding. No, he's in Panama. So we call it the Panama okra.
Oh, wow.
And so I've got some planted here. They're over in the blue tub.
Yeah, if it can grow in Panama, it can certainly grow in Florida.
Yeah,
I mean,
we're taking off there. And I like to grow in containers mostly.
That? Right there?
Yeah, the ones down the middle are okra. Just planted them last weekend. So container growing is the ideal way to grow in Florida because we live on a sandbar. So this is a grow box here. It's got a hole on the side of the box, as you can see right there, which allows water to come out. This is an older one. I've been using it for like 5 years now.
Oh, wow.
And it will become dilapidated, but it's still useful. It still holds water.
Wow.
So we take the lid of the box and we create a platform. We use sewer pipe, which has slits in it, which allows the water to pass through. And we tie it to the lid of the box that we have fabricated with holes, and a hole for the fill pipe here. And then these are the drain pipes. And so the soil, this gets put down into there. The soil sits on top of the platform. Soil goes into these 4 holes and creates a wick that brings the water up into the root zone of the plant. And then this goes here to add water, so you don't have to water from the top. A lot of plants don't like to be watered from the top because there's fungal problems that happen. But so you add water here till it comes out of the hole on the side of the box. And this is how the plants grow. We have cabbage and cauliflower growing here. This is an earth box. You could purchase these at any big box store. But these are about $10 to make yourself.
Yeah.
And I wrote a book on how to make them, and also worm composters.
Oh, cool. I'll put a link to that in the description as well.
Yeah. And then these are, some person had given me some earth boxes, so I decided to try them. They're a bit shallower, so...
And earth box is like a similar concept to this?
Exactly the same. You have a platform, and then the solution sits below the plant, and then you have a wicking system so the plant can uptake the nutrients.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, big problem that I encounter is drying out, the need to water container plants so much. And
exactly.
I guess this might avoid that a little.
It does avoid it completely. You just add water once or twice a week. It depends on your season and how big your plants are. The bigger the plant, the more water it's going to utilize. If you're doing fruiting plants, tomatoes, for instance, will soak up to 1 gallon a day per plant.
Wow.
So it just depends on what stage of their growing cycle they're in. Because as they get bigger, the water requirements become larger. This is our kitty. This is Thomas.
Hey, guy.
Hi, Thomas. Thomas loves the catnip that I grow. He's not the friendly one.
Well, that's pretty friendly.
Yeah, for him, yes.
Okay.
For him. The other cat, he's much more friendly. So yeah, I'm
Well, this is beautiful what you've got here.
Thank you. You know, we try to
Absolutely love
recycle. You know, I got the towers online. You can get any kind of stacking planter.
Okay,
These
that's just a stacking
planters.
planter.
Yeah, what we did, we down here we drove a rebar into the ground about 2.5 feet, and then it sticks up another 2.5 feet, and then we simply slip a PVC pipe that's 2.5 feet and a conduit into that PVC pipe, which provides stability. Otherwise, we would have toppling tower gardens. So at some point I could automate
And then the water just flows
watering.
all the way down. It just kind of comes out of the top.
No, I did have it connected for automatic watering, but I like to water my plants because I like to see what's growing. So
Yeah.
I just took it down so I could easily walk between the rows.
Come on, you know you want it. Good.
Yeah. Hey,
Thinking
Thomas.
Thinking about it.
He's the funny one.
Beautiful
I'm
cat.
surprised he's friendly today.
Yeah, feels friendly.
So we have volunteered tomatoes. I'm sure this is probably going to be the Everglade tomatoes. Once you have
Okay.
it in your yard, it's going to come up all the time.
I love that. Do you know how these do with a little bit of salty irrigation?
I don't know.
I'd be curious.
You can try it and find out.
Yeah, I
you
wonder.
know.
I wonder.
Yeah, definitely.
But most of the container stuff I do in my yard, I try to keep away from my sprinklers for that reason.
Yeah, you collect rainwater too then, I imagine.
I don't yet, but I need to.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, we have arugula. I love
That looks like it's
arugula.
doing well.
It's doing great. I love arugula. It's one of my favorite things. And I love the height of the tower garden.
Jack likes the cat.
All right.
So,
The height of the tower garden is wonderful because you don't have to bend over to harvest anything. You know?
yeah, I mean, I'm thinking you could have this anywhere in a lawn, even.
Yeah, anywhere.
You know, it's so functional.
It is very functional. You could even weed eat around it and not worry
Yeah.
about cutting your plant down. And then the water that drips out of the bottom is going to water your grass.
Yeah.
So I do turn these about a quarter turn every day just so we can get some sunlight on all sides. Because we got other little plants popping up. I planted a bunch of parsley the other day. So there's various ages of plants growing throughout. When one plant expires, I have another plant ready to go in its spot, and so we keep the cycle going.
Nice.
Now, I do give my plants nutrients, additional nutrients, because the manure just doesn't have enough, and our sandy soil doesn't have the minerals that a volcanic soil or a mountain soil would have.
Okay.
So if we go right around there, I'll show you what I use. This is an all-purpose, nutrient with micronutrients in it.
Okay.
And I use like approximately 1 tablespoon around each plant per season. It lasts 6 months.
Okay.
And it constantly just releases small amounts of the micronutrients, which really makes the plant grow better.
I wonder how that compares to stuff like fish emulsion and, like that. I always thought that was or kelp. Like I see some people use that. They're, like seaweed based.
I think they're all good forms of nutrients for the plant, but some people don't like the smell of the fish emulsion.
Oh, yeah. I'm one of them.
Yeah, and so there's other ways of getting nutrients to the plant, There's all kinds of ways. It's just what works for you.
But that looks like a really easy way.
Real easy. We're
Yeah.
into easy because there's so much work to do on a farm anyway that
Right.
anything that we can do to make our job a little easier or our tasks a little bit easier, we try to incorporate that.
Right.
We're
Right.
constantly tweaking. A little tweak here and a little tweak there. Yeah.
Well, this whole setup that you have here is giving me so many ideas. I think I'm going to try to replicate at least one of these towers to get started.
Oh, you need more than one.
Yeah. Well, one
You need more than
leads
one.
to many more.
You need a few if you're going to feed yourself.
Oh, to
and
produce
your
the amount of
family.
food. Yeah.
Yeah, this could feed a family.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Right. How many would you need to feed a family of 4 or something?
Family of 4, I would do at least 10 towers of 4 pots each.
Right.
Because you're not harvesting the same pot all the time. You have staggered growth. Some seedlings are just popping up, but then you have mature plants that you're harvesting from. So it just depends on the time of the year. But
Right.
the more towers gives you the more leeway to do that successive planting.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then at some point you replace the soil in there and put new soil from the compost.
At the end of the season, I will take out the dead plants or the plants that expire, which should be probably around May or June. That's how long the cooler weather will last for us. And then I will actually try to separate the perlite from the leftover compost, whatever's there, by just putting it in water. The perlite will float. Then I skim it off the top and put it aside and can use that in my next go round.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's not. Yeah, I think that's a pretty efficient system.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because it's not huge amounts of soil
Exactly.
that you're dealing with. Like, I'm trying to think of it as a complete system: the rabbits, and then the compost bin, and then this. How they all connect. It, like you were saying, the circle of life. But
Yeah, the soil to me is free.
it's not that complicated and not expensive.
No, not if you.
Considering.
Not once you establish it.
Yeah.
You're just paying for the feed for the rabbits, and then you're paying for the perlite, which you can find cheaply. So under each of the cages for the rabbits, there are worm beds under here. So when I get ready to harvest the castings from under there, I let the bed go dry, and I take a shovel and I get some dirt. Just use this as an example, and I screen it. Now, this happens to be all sand just because I dug it out from the edge. But let's just say this is the worm compost that's been composting for a long time.
Yeah.
I make sure to screen it because it removes all the big particles, and then you get a nice, fine, sandy compost at the bottom of it. That looks pretty good. See all the big chunks? They're just...
Yeah.
There's manure that can be composted.
It's kind of like it's not done yet.
It's not done yet. So at the bottom of this, we have a nice, finer product that mixes very easily with our perlite.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, perlite is magical stuff. It has very, very porous, so it can actually soak up nutrients and hold the nutrients and the water there at the plant root zone.
Sometimes I've used peat, but I think that's some counter properties to perlite, right? Because it absorbs.
Over time, once peat gets used up, I don't know, there's a chemical thing that happens, especially when you're using fertilizers, that all fertilizers have salts, and they somehow bind to the peat so that the peat will not re-wet after a certain period of time. You can pour as much water on it, you can soak it in water, and it just will not absorb any water. So it's a dry, it's just dry, and of course roots can't live in that.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a problem.
Yeah, I would say so. With the rabbits, do you have to bring them inside when it gets cold in Florida?
No, as you see here, we cover them with tarps.
Oh, okay.
Which I have these covered because we had a very chilly night last night. And it's kind of breezy today, so I just have one side of the tarp, the north side, I have the tarp down so the sunshine can come in the south side.
Okay.
Just to keep the breeze off them a little bit. Some of them like it, some of them don't. If I have mothers with babies, I try to keep them a little bit warmer.
Yeah.
Want to see some babies?
Oh, I would love to. Jack, you want to see some babies?
Babies. I also do raise some pet breed
Look at that.
rabbits. This is a little lion's head bunny mama, and she has these beautiful little babies. Holy moly! Aren't they the cutest little things?
That's
Yeah,
possibly the cutest thing.
They were born 7 days ago. Their eyes are still closed.
Oh my God.
And yeah. And they snuggle and they're warm, and she look how fat they are. They're very well fed babies.
Holy moly.
Isn't that the sweetest
That
little
is
thing?
so incredibly cute.
Yeah, we love
And
our
fitting that
bunnies.
this little creature could be the thing which makes your whole
A
yard.
poop factory.
Yeah, poop factory.
We are raising poop factories here. Yeah, a lot of people will come and they will purchase bunnies that are 6 weeks old.
Yeah.
That's when I offer them for sale. And
At
a
6 weeks old.
trio, 2 girls and a boy, will be enough to supply your backyard and your family with meat should you decide to harvest them.
Right. You always have the option, right?
Come around.
If you like, if you wanted to do, you know, go even into meat, and you would have enough reproducing to do that, I guess.
These are my boy rabbits. I keep the boys separate from the girls. He's my big buck.
That is a big boy.
He's Big Daddy. His name is Bigfoot. And he has big babies. Oh, he's got
Gigantic baby rabbits.
These babies were born a day before the other babies were.
Oh man.
I know. Mama pulls her hair to make a nest.
Oh, so cool.
Just very calm and well fed.
You see that? Touch him.
Yeah. Look at that. Beautiful rabbits. Beautiful. Just beautiful.
Really is. What a treasure.
Yes. And as you can see, they poop a lot. Every week I take these lids. They come from worm composters that I used to make, so I saved them all. Oh, the little black one.
This bunny with the beard?
Uh-huh. She is a lion's head bunny, and she also has blue eyes, which is very unusual. It's a genetic trait that she carries. And I am trying to raise blue-eyed white rabbits, which is very unusual.
Wow.
Yeah. Unfortunately, her little white girl there, she does not have blue eyes. She's got pink eyes, which is the standard.
So you have to wait for a litter with that variation in it?
Yeah. I have a blue-eyed boy back there.
Oh, yeah.
And she's a blue-eyed girl here.
All right, so you already have
Yeah.
that in the pool.
I do. Here's a pretty little rabbit. He's a little biggie.
Yeah, you got a little feisty.
He's little biggie. He looks like my shirt. Oh, they do. They got to get used to you like anything, and I pet them every day. They do get human touch every day. All of them do.
Yeah, and I guess that's pretty important. That way they don't.
Yeah, because people are coming to purchase them, and I don't want them to be just completely freaked out and scared when they go to a new home.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Relaxed rabbits.
Definitely. You can see we're feeding them pellets right there. It's just a pellet that you can get from your local feed store or Tractor Supply.
About how much do you estimate it would cost to feed 3 rabbits a month?
I would approximate that at about $20, maybe less.
That's not too bad.
No, you can get a 50-pound bag of feed for about $16. You know, it might even go farther than that. It's been a long time since I've raised a few rabbits, so.
Right, yeah, to bring it down to that small scope.
Yeah, but these are the pets.
Well, I thought that the chickens were the way to go with before today.
Oh! Well,
now I could see several reasons why the rabbit would be a better choice for me.
Yeah, definitely. The poop comes in its own little nice package. It's a little nugget.
Yeah.
You can put them directly in your garden. You don't have to compost them. The rabbit is definitely a plant eater. Yeah, they eat alfalfa hay. That's what the pellets are made of, a variety of hays. And then you can easily transport them. They're not wet, like chicken manure would be wet and stinky and disgusting.
It is pretty gross.
Yeah, until you dry it out, of course. And then, feed the worms with it, feed your garden with it, and make good use of it.
Do you have a problem with like predators trying to get in, raccoons and stuff maybe around here?
Yeah, anywhere in Florida
coyote?
you're going to have predator problems. Yeah. So I do have possums and armadillos that come in and try to eat the worms. So that's why I have worms on the ground, but I also have them up above the ground. So if they do come in and have a snack, I'm not going to be completely wiped out.
Right. Wow, the armadillos, yeah. How about the raccoons? Yeah.
Raccoons are after the chickens, really.
Okay.
Everybody loves chicken.
Okay, yeah, they like,
All the predators love chicken.
but they're focused on the chicken.
Yeah, they're focused on the chicken. And now we have coyotes to contend with, and they're very smart and wily, truly. And we have to bring the cats in at night and just make sure everything is very well secured.
Yeah, I have a lot of neighborhood cats.
Their coyotes are eating them.
So, yeah, less neighborhood cats as we
Yeah.
get more coyotes.
That's right.
That's for sure, but yeah, all over everything.
Cats.
So they'd probably be interested in the rabbits, but couldn't get through a cage like this.
Exactly. They just can't.
Do you get this cage online, or do you make this one?
Yeah,
or?
you can order this wire. It's a special baby wire, they call it, for rabbit cages.
Okay.
And it's only, 2 feet tall,
Yeah.
but you create a space that's 3 foot by 2.5 foot, something like that.
Okay.
For this size of rabbit. And it's down here, you can see it's got very narrow spaces so the baby rabbits don't fall through.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Are
then
they that? Yeah. How could they fall through this? You think?
they could.
Wow,
It
when they're
depends
first born.
on the breed of rabbit. That some breeds are smaller than others, but
Okay.
yeah, they definitely could fall through. I've had them fall through
Yeah.
with other cages. Yeah, and then I put resting mats in there so they can just rest on the mat rather than being on the wire all the time. The plastic lattice that you get at Home Depot or Lowe's works really good. You can actually bend it and break
Oh yeah,
it.
that's just lattice.
And there's a piece right there you can photograph. It looks just like that. And you bend a piece of it to make a nice resting mat. And you can see I can continue to bend this. I don't really, like that. It just breaks.
Oh yeah.
So, that's an example.
That's great.
How easy it breaks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it works beautifully, and you can clean it, you can wash it, lay it out in the sun.
Look at the production.
Sanitation.
Holy moly. Just out of curiosity, how long is the period of time since these had last been removed? Had the pellets removed?
Every week. We feed the worms every week, so they either get overturned and they feed the worms underneath, or they get carried over to the many worm composters that I have. And then the worm.
And so I guess the flies on it, they're laying the maggots in it, which helps break it down.
Yeah,
as well.
definitely. Certain times of the year, we have more flies, and that's when it's the rainy season. Rainy season always brings on the flies.
Do these have holes drilled in them so they don't collect water? Or?
No, they do not. And they won't really, unless we get a driving hard rain to the side, that they won't collect water.
Oh, okay. Seems like
And
an
then it wouldn't
ingenious
matter
system.
if they did, because it would just go to water the worms.
Okay, yeah.
And it also keeps the moisture in the soil, because if the sun was beating down on the soil that the manure is on top of, it would just evaporate any moisture, and you always need to have water. Water is the river of life. If you don't have any water, you're not going to have life.
Right.
So when in doubt, add water. I mean, it can be too much, but if you have proper drainage, it won't be too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, we do farm tours. We used to do a lot of farm tours here at the farm, and a lot of people have come to learn from us.
Yeah.
A lot of people have more time to devote to raising some food at home, and it's very satisfying. You really get to see what true abundance is about.
Right.
I mean, taking one packet of seeds and growing 500 plants out of that.
Right. To me,
That
it's
has
like
the potential of growing so much food.
yeah.
That is so abundant. It's amazing.
It's like almost like a return to what's normal
Exactly.
in a way.
Yeah, to be busy all the time, we have to give something up, and that's usually acquiring or growing our own food. That's the task, we all need food. So
Right.
we end up trading our time for making dollars, which goes to purchase the food, which often isn't grown, or it's not picked freshly, or it's just too old sitting on the shelf, and it's doesn't have as many vitamins and nutrients as if it was fresh picked.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you eat fresh picked greens, take them from the tower garden, take them right in, make a salad. There's just a little bit of a kick and a pep that comes from eating those real fresh
Right.
greens. The enzymes are alive in it. The plant is still flowing with aliveness.
Yeah. I can tell you, as a kid, I would just every morning get up and wander through the fields and eat stuff.
Yeah.
Every morning.
Yeah.
You pick whatever was growing, baby
Oh my
corn, cucumbers, tomatoes, all that. Yeah.
That's so
My
cool.
grandfather always had tons of different varieties of stuff. So
That's
whatever was growing, just
wonderful.
snap it off and eat it. Yeah. I think that's a healthy way to go.
Totally.
Really, if you had a space, I'm trying to, it wouldn't take that much space to produce a functioning system.
Right. It really doesn't. Especially if you go up. If you do a vertical garden,
Yeah,
like behind you, we have trellises that we're doing to grow vertically, the vining crops, get them off the ground. They produce heavier, you can pick easier, and they look gorgeous. Who doesn't like looking at a flourishing garden?
Yeah, I think they get up away from the bugs and things too, more so.
Exactly.
Maybe.
Yeah, they definitely are
Not from the
raised
squirrels.
above of the soil bugs,
Yeah.
the worms in the soil.
Yeah, and for me, raised above our irrigation system, which is salty.
Ah, there you go.
Because, that's the,
That's
gets everything.
challenge.
Salt.
Yeah.
But a lot of things will still do well, but when it's salt on the leaves,
Right, that's kind of tough.
yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about chickens?
I would love to.
Let's go up front.
Okay.
So what we have here are beautiful roosters. People that can't raise roosters in neighborhoods often bring us their roosters and we
Oh, no
take them
kidding.
in. Yeah. But they're gorgeous. They're
Oh, yeah, they're so
gorgeous. Right? Big roosters there.
Yeah, guys. Those are beauties. And those two roosters in the same cage get along like that, huh?
They were raised together, so we could leave them together.
Yeah, that's that's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, when they team up.
Right. So what we have here are barred rocks. They're an awesome egg layer. And we also have some gold stars, or they're also known as gold sex links. And they're an excellent, excellent egg layer. And any chicken that has sex link by its name, you can reliably sex them just after hatching because they are a certain color.
Okay.
Yeah, they have a little spot on their head that tells whether they're a boy or a girl. So they're easy to sex. A lot of chickens are sexed by vent sexing. You look at the private parts and see what indicates a male. And we do order off female sex chicks from the hatchery, but there are roosters that come through, and we can't guarantee you what you have as a rooster or not when they're little tiny baby chicks. So that's a disclaimer that we do have.
Yeah, that's interesting. I saw a thing on that Dirty Jobs show.
Oh yeah.
With Michael Rowe, and they were sexing
I
chickens,
saw
and they were trying. And it was he couldn't do it. But the point is, these chickens have a dot on their head if they're
color.
a color on their head.
I think they're born black and they have a white spot on their head.
A white spot on their head.
I don't remember if that's the boy or the girl, but yeah, they're sexed by color.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it really is. So there's a red sex link, a gold sex link, and a black sex link type chicken.
Interesting.
There might be others that I don't know about.
Yeah. That's like something out of Star Trek when you think about it. It's just very interesting.
I think these are.
I guess not though, because it's the difference between like a peacock, a male and a female. I mean, just the fact that they are so different in the way their feathers turn out.
Yeah, I think what we have here are mostly roosters. I think. Maybe not. But yeah, this was a group that we had Andrew recently purchased, so I'm not sure exactly what he's got there. They could be mixed breeds,
Yeah. Looks like there's a couple back in there with bigger feet, maybe.
Yeah, some
more
of them
feathers
have
on the
feathered feet.
front.
Yeah.
Feathered feet.
They're really beautiful type chickens. And some of them have lace feathers. There's a gold black lace something up in there.
They're beautiful.
Got his head down right now. But yeah, just beautiful.
They're very
Chickens
quiet.
Are gorgeous. Yeah, the hens are quiet. The girls do not crow. Yep, these are the gold sex links here. And they're a little older than the other group. So it depends on what age the chicken is what we charge. These are at 4 months old and we charge $20 each.
Nice.
Yeah. But you can see they have this group is a larger group. It's got a big pen back there to run in and be covered at night. This is the day
Okay.
pen. They come out here during the day and get sunshine, although it's shady right now because we're behind a tree. And yeah, they can.
One of the other YouTube channels I was watching, the guy would move the pen around to different parts of the yard.
Yeah.
To kind of let him.
Chicken tractor.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's ideal if you have a backyard, is to have a chicken tractor. That way they will eat grass down to the root, and then they're just left with nothing but sand, and you don't have any grass.
I was wondering what they would do with like St. Augustine grass or.
They eat it right to the root. Yeah, they wipe out your grass.
They'd worry about the grass.
Yeah,
No,
and then
no grass in chickens.
The manure is really strong, so it could burn the grass as well. That's another factor you got to watch out for. Yeah, so if you do have a chicken tractor, it's nice if you can move them every day. Just let them mow it and then move it and then water it. That way you dilute the manure.
Yeah, and to compare it with a rabbit manure, you can just apply that directly. You don't have to worry about the burn.
Exactly.
Or
no burn with rabbit manure. Apply directly, and you can.
And I guess you could let the rabbits hop around the lawn.
You could.
Yeah.
You definitely could, but they love to dig and will dig under any fence that you put out there. And they're a little tougher to catch.
A little tougher to catch.
Yeah. A little tougher to catch. But yeah, so girls start laying eggs at approximately 6 months of age. So, some people prefer to raise chicks, just hatched. That way the chick bonds with you and you're growing out for 6 months. But then some people don't want to wait that long for fresh eggs, so they'll buy the older chickens.
And when you say the chick bonds with you, that it will follow you around and associate with you with food.
Yep,
So,
they will. They'll become your friend.
yeah, my grandmother had about 25 cats that did that lived out in the barn.
Okay.
They were all there from kittens and would just follow her like the Pied Piper.
They were mine.
The sound of her voice, it would come blocking in.
That's funny.
Friendly barn cats.
Yes, and you can be sure that a good egg-laying hen will lay the best for the first 3 years of her life. They will take time off when the days are really short, like in December, January.
Okay.
They won't lay, and they will also not lay when they're molting or losing their feathers. So keep that in consideration. But you can expect to get over 265 eggs for a good egg layer in a year, which is a lot.
I had no idea it was that many.
Yeah, it's a lot of eggs.
That is a lot.
Yeah, that would be a good sex link layer.
Yeah, and then thinking about the comparison to rabbits, it's producing a lot more like edible protein out of the chicken, of course.
Right. They say that one mother rabbit can produce over 80 pounds of meat in 1 year. So, and I'm primarily.
Oh.
Yeah, they can have like 3 good litters, and my breeding season is like the beginning of November through May. I don't breed after that. It's just too hot. They can't.
I wonder how many pounds of eggs it works out to be.
I know.
For one chicken, what the comparison is. I guess they're pretty comparable.
Yeah. Maybe.
In a way, just the convenience of eggs, maybe, as opposed to having to harvest meat is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There you go, and that's what we do.
Beautiful. So if somebody wanted to get a chick to start with, or to buy a more mature chicken,
we would recommend that you get 4 to 6 chicks or chickens, simply because they are a flock animal. They're very social. They set up their own pecking order. They have their roles to play in the pecking order, and they're happier that way. So we were
you're thinking 4 to 6.
Yeah, Margaret Goodlock instrumented getting the chicken laws to be passed so that people in town or in city limits can have 4 hens in their backyard.
To me, that's one of the greatest policy changes I could imagine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So all over Brevard County, pretty much, unless you're in a gated community or you have certain homeowner restrictions,
right?
You can have chicken hens, egg layers.
Right. Is there a limit on the number? Do you know? I'd heard 4, but
we say that there's no chicken police.
Oh yeah.
Unless you have roosters and
Not
a
yet.
neighbor. Yeah. If you have neighbors that that are going to complain, then you've got a problem there. But
there's really nothing to complain about if you can't hear them.
Right, and if you get a couple,
I guess you could smell them.
A couple eggs out of that, that kind of makes for better neighborly relations.
Right, beats a beehive. See, I was considering the beehive, but I went with the chickens.
Yeah, I don't think beehives are allowed in certain areas in city limits, really.
Yeah, well, and that's another component of, well, that's a whole other subject, but the
Right.
pollinators, having them around.
Exactly. Yeah, we have, well, I did have some hives, but I swell up so badly that I
Yeah.
can't work them. No, I get allergic to them.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you don't want to take that risk.
Yeah, no. And it's hot. I mean, God bless any beekeeper who keeps bees in Florida.
Oh, yeah.
And Florida means the land of flowers. Truly, we are the land of flowers. Bees can find pollen generally all year long, unless we have a hard freeze or unless we have a hurricane that blows away all the blossoms. But we have things blooming all year long. So, yeah, beekeeping is really cool in Florida, really.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful thing. You got challenges there, too.
Yeah.
You know, lots of challenges,
I
but
suppose, yeah, killer bees and things like that.
yeah. But anyway,
Well, thank you so much for
My
showing me your beautiful
pleasure.
farm.
Where our farm is open Saturday and Sunday from 10 till 2, unless it's really raining, like really hard.
Okay, great.
If you need worms, please pre-order. I list everything we offer generally on our Facebook page, Monkey Chicken Farm, Melbourne, Florida. Usually the Thursday or the Friday before the weekend.
Right,
So
and those
you
are the
know what
red
we
worms.
got. Yeah,
The
I have
variety.
the red wigglers. They're
Red
available.
wigglers.
Half pound for 15, whole pound for 30. I got to harvest them for you, so it's a pre-order. Call me 321-505-4066. Yeah.
I think you'll be getting some calls.
Yeah, or look us up online, funkychickenfarm.com. And
All
we'll
right.
be happy to help you.
Well, thanks, Suzanne. I appreciate it so much. It's been great meeting you
My
and talking about
pleasure.
all this.
It's always fun to talk about this stuff, so.
Yeah, I could do it all day.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. I love tie-dyeing. We just do all kinds of stuff. Hearts.
That's so cool.
Uh-huh. And I do odd dresses. Yeah. I've got a
Wow.
house full. But yeah.
That's beautiful work.
Thank you. I've been doing that a long time. 30 years or more now.
Well, you can tell that's an expert design. Nothing we've produced comes even close to that.
Well, she's got the basics. She can do it.